Well, good evening, folks. How's everyone tonight? Sweating a bit. I'm certainly sweating me nads off at the moment up here, but I've got the window open, so if you hear any bangs, that's probably Tiny going out on the roof and then jumping back down onto the table, as is her wont, because that's what she's into. Because she's a little get. Who we got in tonight? John, hit that like button. Yes, you're right, John. Barnes, evening. Nick, evening. Carl, evening. Typical Miami, aircon set to freeze this year, all his sweaters. Yeah, it is too hot. He felt like a loving in the man cave in the attic. Yes, it is up here as well, Carl, so I got the window open. Evening, Aled. Too hot to paint. To paint? Oh, yeah, but you retracted your message, Aled. Yeah, we'll see how long we go for, especially under these studio lights. But we'll give it a go. Evening, Jonas. Evening, Terry. Evening, Greg. Freezing in SA. Wow, completely different to up here. Well, tonight on my desk, what's everyone else painting? First of all, tell me that. Tonight on my desk, I've got a load of 1600 Stukas. The only things I've got left from the Battle of Britain stuff to do is these Stukas. I've got the Ju 88s, and I've also got the Defiance as well. What do you say? 2 hours of paint at the moment, so sorting out paints for later. Okay. So I'm just going to get some block colours on these Stukas. We'll see how we go. I've already painted the undersides and the stands as well in blue. So it's just going to be a base green on top. Then I'll do the camouflage on them later at some point, and then I'll probably try to paint the bases as well if I can. I might do the bases first actually, because that's a nice easy job. And then I might just get some Soviets primed up, ready for doing some more big men and for leaders. So I don't know if anybody saw my recent hobby update the other day when I said I was waiting for still waiting for some varnish to come through. Well, I was waiting this morning. I thought I'll give it this morning, see if it comes through, and it didn't. So I actually went down to Games Workshop for the first time in a while, and to see if they got any varnish, because I figured their varnish is going to be all right, isn't it? I'm sure. I've never used it before, but I'm fairly sure it's got to be pretty good. Otherwise, somebody would have said it's rubbish. So I went down and they got none either. Apparently they've been waiting for about a week and a half because they had to change some conditions on it or something to do with health and safety, so they had to recall all their varnish and get them reprinted at great cost to them, I expect. So I didn't even get any varnish from Games Workshop, which is only a 5-minute walk away from me, which is quite annoying. I went down during lunch, and so yeah, I'm still waiting for some paint, some varnish. So what I did instead is I went on Amazon and I found some that hopefully should deliver tomorrow, and it's the Windsor and Newton stuff. The reason I need it, evening John Clarkey, the reason I need it, 35 degrees C over your comfort temperature is plus 25 minus much. Yeah, I prefer much colder temperatures than this heat. So the reason I need it is because I want to play my Joy of 6 game on Thursday, because it's Joy of 6 in 2 weeks, and I realise I'm going to be away in Austria, so I'm not going to be down at the club for the 2 weeks that running up to the Joy of 6. So this Thursday is the last time I get a chance to test out the game. I've changed what I'm going to do. It was going to be Algernon pulls it off, but I decided to go with a Battle of Britain. Using these figures, these aircraft have been painted, and get something like 18 Heinkel HE-111s on the table with a ton of Spitfires and Hurricanes and Messerschmitts, and just do a big old game of Bag the Hun and lots of crazy flying. So I thought that would be an interesting one to do. So that's kind of why I need the varnish, because I need to get these things varnished ready for the game on Thursday, so I can then try it out. Duke says, good day from Land of Oz. At work in Australia doing night shift last night. Sorted out some goals for infamy. I've finished the Romans, late Republicans and early Imperials. Excellent stuff, good stuff. What's everybody else at? I know a lot of you aren't painting because it's too bloody hot. I feel about the same, to be perfectly honest. But we'll just see. So yeah, so I just want to get some block colours onto these Stukas first of all, and we'll go from there as to what else I can do with them, because I'm not entirely sure. 33 degrees C in this part of Miami with humidity. It feels like 42. Why the hell did you move here? Well, yeah, I mean that's the problem with the UK, isn't it? It's very humid. I don't mind the heat as long as it's not particularly humid. The same with the cold. I don't mind the cold as long as it's not the damp cold that you get in the UK where it just gets into your bones. It's horrible. Prefer it much further north, like where Jonas is. It's a little bit nicer. Right. So because this is the base coat, they're just going to go on very simply, and I'm using a big brush for this. Then I'll come back and I'll do the wheels afterwards because they'll need a smaller brush. But so just to get the top coat on, basically. I'm not too fussed if anything goes on the underside, simply because nobody's going to see it, because you can't take these off the things. So there we go. And also, hopefully everybody saw the unboxing video of Undaunted Battle of Britain. That came through just after work. I actually sat down and had a game of it. I tried out the first game just to work the rules out. It's very good. It's chaos, absolute chaos. It's like Bag the Hun's little brother, basically. It has quite a lot of similar elements in it. Heard a lot of stories about GW spray varnish misting. You may have had a little escape. Well, good. I'm glad I dodged that bullet then. Yeah, I'm waiting for the Winsor and Newton professional artist stuff, which in my stuff, not cheap, but neither was the next day delivery from Amazon. That wasn't bloody cheap either, but a point of desperation. To be fair, actually, I figured that the money that I would have spent on spray paint from Games Workshop is probably about the same as what I would have spent on for next day delivery from Amazon anyway. You ordered 2 cans of Windsor Mountain Saturday from Jackson's Art Supplies and they arrived today. I tried them. I've used them before. I think I've used them before as well, Terry. I went to somebody else. What happened was they sent it to me, but then DHL or whoever their sender was lost it. It disappeared into there, so they were going to send me some more, and then when they were going to send me some more, they realised they didn't actually have any more in stock, so they've had to get it from the supplier, so that's why I'm waiting. You watch, it'll probably turn up tomorrow. But I thought what I'll do is, because Games Workshop opens on Tuesday, I'll give it till Tuesday morning, and then that gives them, you know, a bit. Well, if he hasn't arrived by tomorrow, I'll probably just give them a poke and see if they have sent it and if they've got anything that I can do. So, yeah, you're building 328mm MDF landing crafts. Seems like enough work for tonight. Yeah, I'll probably knacker you out by the end of it, Jonas, I would have thought. So yeah, I'll get back in touch with them, Terry. Thanks. I think I've used Jackson's in the past. I'm fairly sure I have, and I'll give them a nudge to see if they can get it in for me. And if that's the case, hopefully I'll get it before next week, before I actually go away. But I'm not too worried about after next week. It's really this week for playing the game at the club. I mean, I could play with them unvarnished, but I'm just a bit nervous too, that's all. You know, nobody's going to knacker them up. And also, because they're resin prints, they're not really going to chip either, so it's not like they're metal or anything. Evening, Simon. Good to have you on board, buddy. What are you painting tonight? Anything? Or are you just, like everybody else, dying in the heat? I think it's a record-breaking heat today, from what I saw on Google. I don't know if anybody else has seen that. Tidy up here. Anyway, hit that like button, folks. John already told you. There's 18 of you watching this time and only 8 likes. We know that's not the way it works. So yeah, playing the new Undaunted Battle of Britain game earlier on, and great fun I had as well. It's very interesting, very different mechanically to the other stuff, as you'd expect, because obviously aircraft have a perpetual motion So if you activate them, they have to move whatever else you're doing with it. And I quite like that. So you've always got to move at least one hex, and also it's hex based as well. Unlike the other one, where the other Undaunted, where they're square based for the grids. So it's very, very similar to a lot of aviation war games, I would have thought. Stuff like that. Bag the hunt. Not bag the hunt. Sorry. Check your six. Isn't that a hex based one? Is it individual planes or flights? Individual planes, Nick. You've even got German bogies as well. I don't know how they work yet because they're scenario specific, but there is potential. It looks like there might be potential for subterfuge in it. So from what I could see, the aircraft that there is on the RAF side is the Bolton Paul Defiance, the Hurricanes and Spitfires. On the German side, they've got Messerschmitts 110s, Messerschmitts 109s. I think they've got Stukas. I think there's Stukas in there, and also what's the other one? The Heinkel's HE-111s, of course. They've also got ships, anti-aircraft guns, anti-aircraft batteries, airfields to bomb. Hey, Alan's become a supporting Steeler. Excellent. Cheers, Alan. Thanks for that. Very much appreciated. You will get your hands on early videos. Well, I think you already do anyways with Patreon, but you do get supporting Steeler videos each week at the start of each week. But you get them as a Patreon. But thank you very much appreciated. It's always nice to have the support. So yeah, I will do some games of it. I'll do some solo games of it, because it works just as well solo as it does as it would do normally. But yeah, I've really been looking forward to it for ages. I think can't remember if I said, but I actually reached out to Osprey and asked them if there was any chance of getting hold of a review copy, but I got in there too late and they said they've already sent all the review copies out. But never mind. I was going to buy it anyway. Evening, Thomas. Long time no see. Working on early World War II French guns, howitzers, 25mm, 45mm, 76mm, all the mils. Simon says you continue with your 6mm Crusaders. Egyptians for a game you're running at Joy 6. Excellent. See you taking your algae game. I am and I'm not. Simon, I am taking the Bag the Hun Battle of Britain game now. I was going to do algae, but I've decided against it. I'm going to do Battle of Britain, so I can get a load of Heinkel's on the table. I've already squared it away with Peter. Evening, James. How you diddling? I'm doing good, thanks. Come over for a cool here in Derby this weekend, which is it's come over a lot cooler, which is a relief. 47mm. Don't worry, Thomas. Nobody noticed. I think you got away with it. So who you putting the Crusader game on with, Simon? At Joya 6. Is it yourself? Is it a club? I don't even know where you're based. I know you were down with Simon Miller down at Partisan, weren't you? And obviously you came up to Lard Workshop as well. So I'm assuming somewhere Midlands-ish, especially if you're making the perilous journey to Sheffield. Let me know. Here we go. I was thinking about making algae Bag the Hun a little smoother for a multiplayer game, but I thought, no, why? It's pretty smooth anyway. It doesn't really need to be smoothed out. It's, once you've got the rules in your head, it's pretty simple, and a lot of the guys at the club know how to play it anyway. From mini bits, or Pendraken as they call them. Who's taking it over? That is the same colour, isn't it? Yes, it is. But you can get them anyway. Just search for 7mm dice on on the on eBay. You'll get millions of them for next to nothing. You're sorting out your First World War Pendragon stuff tonight, pulling out minis for big men for both sides. Maybe starting to base up the first platoon for each side. Excellent. Good stuff. I'm surprised you've not played Chain of Command, John. You said in the in my review on the Patreon, you said you'd not played it. And the good thing is as well, if you're doing the cocking up the mud and the blood, or algae, sorry, it's too hot, can't. Nothing wrong with that, as long as people are playing games. That's the main thing. Yeah, it looks like I'm having streaming issues, so I do apologise. It keeps telling me. So I don't know what's going on with that. We'll stick with it and see what happens. You might be only getting bits of it though tonight. Just as well you didn't pay to get in, eh? Alright, so I'm down to the last 3 of these. Yeah, I think what I'll do is I'll work my way through African huts and shanty building tonight in 15mm. Luton Club. We don't appear on the list of games on the website. Peter has assured us we have a space, which I think probably means we're games with the gents' toilets. Well, we're having to buy his wife the club is having to buy his wife a bouquet of flowers for sorting us out, because my club's putting on a game of Strength and Honour, and I'm putting on a game. So what we said we'd do is, if we could get the tables near each other, then we could have quite a few of the club members come along and just help out on both tables. So there's always somebody around. So she sorted us out very nicely. Yeah, very nice. Some nice flowers, I think. Heat and electronics don't mix. No, they certainly don't. Especially not up here in the sweat box. So I do apologise for any loss of communication, loss of comms that we may be suffering tonight. Right, this is the last one of the the top part. So what I'm going to do is now I'm going to switch over, get a smaller brush, and I'm going to go back in and I'm going to hit those landing gear and get those painted. So then they're done, and then by the time they are done, all that lot should be dry. I should be able to get the bases done, and then they might have to be left, and I can do the camouflage later another time. Right, let me just make sure I've got the right one of these ones out now. Wardrobe, popping in to say hello, working to be watching when it's nice to have you on board for a minute, Todd, and hopefully the work isn't too painful for you. And let's have a little look. Which brush should I use on this one? I need something a bit soft, because these are only tiny and they'll probably break off. Speaking of tiny, she's laid on the table behind me, absolutely sparked out. She's been sparked out all day, the poor little thing. So is Fatty as well, to be fair. They don't like, well, Tiny likes the heat. Fatty don't like it so much. He comes and moans at me to turn it down. I'm like, well, I can't do much about it, kid. Bless their little cotton socks, eh? Yeah, Tiny's normally a big Sun fan. That's cats for you, isn't it? For a fair decent matte spray varnish, you do Plastico Clear Sealer, £10 for a 400ml bottle from Roll No DIY. Does a job for you. Fair enough, whatever works. Yeah, I'm a Windsor and Newton man. You kind of you stick with what you know, don't you? Really, I don't like to change it. The Windsor and Newton stuff is really good. The professional artist spray, in particular, because it really dries to a really good matte. and that's what I like about it. Go for it painting. Hello, the wannabe painter. It's that time of year when there are 7 days of burning heat, then 1 day of horizontal flying hail and thunder, and there's 7 days of heat again. Yeah, exactly that. Exactly that. We're just currently waiting for that horizontal rain and thunder at the moment. I wish it would come. It's just to break the heat down a little bit. But yes, it is Scorchio. I don't mind it so much. Because I couldn't get into the loft this weekend, I actually sat and I just read. And I read the Tanks of Prokhorovka, the new Osprey book about the myth of the German tanks at during the Battle of Kursk, the SS tanks. And I've actually done a review of it. I haven't put it out yet because I put out the review of. I was going to put it out today, but then the Battle of Britain, Osprey, the Undaunted Battle of Britain turned up, so I did a box opening of that instead. So the Tanks of Prokhorovka and Wait, and then I also finished off Laugh or Cry, which is the I don't like it. I wish I could. I wish I could read quickly. Does anyone spray gloss varnish and smart varnish at the top? Asking for a friend. Nah. No, I don't. I've always heard that that's what you're supposed to do because the gloss varnish has got a better protective layer, but I've never had an issue with the Winsor & Newton stuff anyway. Never had an issue with it chipping or anything. It's got a good protection to it. Well, it might be one of those things where it's back in the day when sprays weren't very good, aerosols weren't particularly good, you know, the actual stuff in them. It might be a case that the mats probably weren't up to scratch. But nowadays, I don't know. I don't know. Does anybody else in the in chat do it? So I know you're supposed to do it, but in all my time of painting, I don't think I've ever done it. Or maybe I've done it once or twice and just never noticed the difference. I mean, at the end of the day, it's like everything, isn't it? Do what works for you. But I kind of feel it's a bit of a waste. A waste of 2 sprays. Yeah, I was talking to the guy in Games Workshop about it, and he suggested doing it with the airbrush. And I was like, yeah, I've got an airbrush, but it's never worked for me. It's terrible. Simon says you have done in the past, but you don't now. No, I may have tried it once or twice, Duke. But yeah, just why don't you do it now, Simon? Is it have you ever noticed a difference? I reckon thinking about it, I think it's probably the quality of the sprays has just changed. Used to the theories with it, if you put the gloss on first, you got a matter mad. You mean a matter matte? I'm assuming you mean there, Nick. Yeah, once again, the stuff I use, the Winsor & Newton, it's incredibly matte. So yeah, that's probably another. Hey, Artemy Blackwood, that's probably an issue more to do with the old sprays and their chemical compounds, I guess. I don't know, I'm not a chemist. So the next military history book I'm going to read is going to be Foot Sloggers by Peter Hart. I'm on a bit of a Peter Hart assault at the moment. As you say, spray quality is better nowadays. Yeah, exactly. You stop using sprays on minis and brush on to avoid the grey cloudy issue. Only spray terrain and vehicles, and only early AM or late PM. Yep. I'd like I say, Winsor & Newton, you never get a clouding. Never get it at all. It's such good stuff. And I've been through loads of different sprays, and I've had it in the past from various ones, but not from Winsor & Newton, apart from once. I find modern plastics don't chip anywhere near as much as previously. So yeah, exactly, because they're not bendy, are they? Well, they don't. So varnish can be light if used at all. Yeah, to be honest, I'd probably varnish out of ritual than anything else. I just feel like you should do. I mean, metal chips. Okay, that's the tops of those done. Right, I'm going to do the bases now. Once again, I do apologise because of the crappy stream tonight. I think it is the heat, which is always a bit rubbish. But what I'll do is I'll paint these bases. And we might have to make all that one a night, but we'll see how we go. What do I use on the Mormon Inheritance when you got the grey cloudy issue? That was that one day when it was absolutely roasting hot. And that was the Windsor and Newton, and that's the one time that it's actually happened. Well remembered. But yeah, that's the only time it's ever happened with the Windsor and Newton. In what I can remember anyway. Good off. Because it can't be much fun. A bit frustrating. As I say, I'm gonna paint these bases, and then I think I'll probably leave it at that tonight. There's not much point. The stream seems to be struggling. And it is getting more and more hotter up here. I'll have to have a shower, I think, before bed tonight. The issue is the spray starts drying here before hitting the model. Very warm here. Yeah, it's the only thing I can put it down to is the humidity in the air, Thomas. Because as I say, it never happened before. Then it got a really, really ridiculously hot day, and then it clouded. So it is probably something to do with the spray. If you respray them, it can work. It can take away the cloudiness, but it doesn't always work. People say use lemon juice, or there's a million different methods that people say to use. The one I use is strip the paints off and restart. That said, I sprayed a load of old figures that had clouded that I got, and it worked for them. It's getting hot. Everybody's getting hot. We're all too hot. I think that was probably partially the problem last week with the live game of What a Drocker as well. Just getting the bad issues on that. So I can only apologise, folks. What I'd do is I'd go and watch my video about unboxing Undaunted Battle of Britain. There you go. That'll be more interesting than listening to this stuttering away. But thanks for persevering with me, at least. It's very much appreciated. Well, do you know what? I mean, this stuff is drying so quick. It might be worthwhile just actually painting on the upper camouflage as well before I finish tonight, and then it'll just need a quick ink wash. Let's see where we're at once I've done these. Let's see if I've died of heat stroke or not, like Tiny has. Let's see how far we get. Ain't no point rushing it. I've got the aircraft done that I want. I just need that varnish. Please. And then hopefully it'll come early in the morning so I can get it done early on. You say not your fault, this tech is valuable. If you're on the moon, the signal will be better. True. True that. James says you're painting in the garden at the weekend. He did wonders for drying time. Yeah. Normally I'll get the old hairdryer on it. But I really don't need it tonight. Yeah, these are drying double speed. It's great. So as long as you can take the heat. Which I don't mind so much. I'm going to be over in Austria anyway in a week or so. Ian Andrew, good to have you aboard. How are you diddling? I hope you're well. Oh, Tiny's come down to look for some fish. You're not getting it, Tiny. Hello from a balmy and breezy Mercia. Hope you're all well. Certainly are, Paul. Hope you are too. And in Germany last week, a few degrees cooler than the UK most of the time. Very well, thanks. Undercoating big beasties. Good stuff. Yeah, Austria is generally a little bit hotter. Further south. It's currently about 4 or 5 degrees higher than here, I think. Fortunately, painting den is the cool part of the house, so getting work done on some Martians for a client. I need to eat it soon, so I have to pause the brush. Well, eating comes before painting. I'm sure you're in full agreement of that, Simon. So yeah, this time of year, you'll be able to go swimming in the Danube. So I'm going to take my swimming trunks with me because I want to go. Might be our last chance to do it. So I'm going to go along. I've not done it for a little while. It's lovely, nice and cooling. It's perfect when it's roasting hot. Just to go and just dive in. Let's get all these. I've only got 3 more bases to do. Still a little. I don't like finishing a stream early. I'd like to get a full hour out of it at least, if we can. Normally there's Louis baby here telling me to stay up until 11. So I'm a bit tired tonight. Go and have a cold bath or something. Right, last one of these. So let's have a little think. Yeah, they're pretty dry. I think I could do some little stripes of camouflage on these. And then just before bed I could give them a cheeky little ink wash. And then when I get up early in the morning and come up here and just do half an hour and get them finished off almost. Now there's loads more to do than half an hour of me, excuse me, on these. I need to paint the not only do I need to give them an ink wash, then a dry brush, then I need to go back and do all the details like the canopies and stuff and the nose cones. Then I also need to paint the numbers as well on the bases. And I paint the numbers twice on these because I'm painting them in red. So I paint them first of all in tan yellow and then I paint red over the top. Even Dougie just walked into Alex wanted a cold bath, so I need to catch up on chat. Cold bath? Is this for OnlyFans? Yeah, that'll be later on. Thanks for the stream tonight, even with the technical issues. It's just the distraction I need after my... Oh, really sorry about that, Simon. Oh, that must be a killer. Oh, that's terrible news. I'd be absolutely... I'm sure you are, lad. I'd be absolutely gutted. Oh, poor thing. Well, I'm fairly sure you probably give him a good old life, and that's the main thing. Bless. That's always the problem with pets. We always outlast them generally. So yeah, very sorry about that. Bad news. Right, yes, what I will do, I will continue on. And I'll just do the camouflage on these. So for those that want to know, I don't think these are exact colours, but I'm using for the base for the Germans, it is not olive grey. Where is it? Where's it gone? Put it away again. It's this one. Yellow olive. So that's the base that I'm using for Vallejo. And then for the camouflage over the top, I'm using refractive green, again by Vallejo. They're not perfect, but at this scale, because you need them to be slightly lighter than you normally would, that's what I've gone for. For the fighters, I've done those with a bit of a greyer colour. I think it was green grey. Same base, but that's if anybody is interested in what I'm painting these, how I'm painting these. And then the Germans, just nice big bold stripes of camouflage. Because yeah, I mean, not only do I need to do all those little bits of painting, but I also then need to put all the decals on as well. And on each one there's 4 decals, and the problem is with the flight deck decals, as good as they are, you have to cut them out. So for every aircraft I've got to cut out 4 tiny decals, and they've all got to be put on. I do like putting the decals on. Noticed on Amazon a lot of Vallejo paints have gone up to 475-ish. Oof, that's a bit of a killer. Boycotts it purposely. I only use it when I really have to, like getting that varnish in, for example. But yes, I try not to. That said, I do have Amazon affiliate links on my videos, so I don't know. Just as bad as everything else, aren't I, really? Where are you? What's up, Tiny? You alright, kid? Pet? I asked earlier, nobody answered me. Who's coming up to enjoy your 6 in a couple of weeks? The best little show you'll go to. And come and have a go on my Bag the Hunt table. Ooh, and a nice chill breeze starting to come through, just to move the air about a little bit. It'll be nice when they're finished. It's nice to round out a project, get it all done. Maybe Joy 6 is able. Might be. I won't know till the morning though. Fair enough. Well, I hope I see you, James. It's been a while. I've been having quite a Battle of Britain time, which wasn't made by the same people that made Illusion 2, but it's using the same engine. It's a bit of a pig to get the controls right, but there is a joystick wizard that helps you set up your joystick. Carl says, hope to make it to 6. Hope, not sure yet. Well, hopefully I'll see you there, Carl. You can come and roll some dice, play Bag the Hunt for a bit if you want. My game's a bit of a demonstration participation game, I thought. It'd probably be too big for people to play all the way through. Alright, nearly done. Last after I've done these 2. I'm suffering, the internet's suffering, we're all suffering. So there's not much point struggling on, I don't think, at this point. There you go.